The RLCS is turning into a super team league. Now, I say that, and it's not a bad thing, I promise. Because when the skill ceiling and the skill level continues to rise like it has been, and I feel like it's been rising rampantly in the last, I'd say maybe 8 to 14 months, there are bound to be more and more players that are just at that top level consistently improving and just constantly winning and being some of the best players in the world. You go back like 2 years and there was maybe 3 to 4 teams in each region, EU and NA, and maybe one team in OCE, one team in SAM, one team in MENA had they been allowed to play. That would have been very competitive. Now there's like 8 teams constantly vying for just a major spot. So there's like 8 to 10 teams in EU and NA, I would say. Probably 10 in EU, 8 in NA, that you could see 5 of them making a LAN. For SAM and OCE and MENA, it's probably closer to like, they only get 2 spots, MENA only gets 1, so maybe 3 to 4, maybe 5 teams. So instead of dividing that talent and conquering, one little, their own region, bringing together that talent, that top level talent, seems to be a priority in this offseason. After Rocket League Esports' largest prize pool, largest event ever in the 2021-2022 World Championship, seeing BDS win, it feels like a lot of teams are gearing towards a more super team approach. And whether or not that's not a bad thing, it just happens to be the players are available and open to the idea for it. So this all started, not all started, because there are teams prior to the offseason that are 100% super teams. But Vatira leaving what I would consider a super team to join another one. Vatira leaving Rise and Joyo on Moist to likely round out the roster of Itachi on K-Corp with Exotic. So it's a French roster. It's another French, team, which is important for those French players. It's important that they speak in French during comms and with one another. But this is without a doubt a super team, and whether or not they already were existing before this season, I just didn't realize it or have the idea to create a narrative formed around it, is likely true, because there are plenty of teams that were super teams last season, like FaZe bringing in Sypical, G2 bringing in Atomic, BDS bringing in Seiko. They made those moves because they knew that's what it would take to eventually win. Another team in EU, very French-centric, Vitality, duh. Astral poised to replace KDOP is the report from Shift. Shout out Shift. Zen to be eligible in 2023. They are in advanced talks with both those players. Astral coming in now, Zen coming in later. Astral and Alpha as a duo, that is one of the most dangerous offensive duos Rocket League Esports has ever seen. They can motivate Alpha to continue to play the game and continue to grind the game. With Astral and Radisson right now, and maybe even Astral and Zen by February, that team is going to be a guaranteed top 5 team in EU, in my opinion. And I know we said that last year about K-Corp and Astral, and whether or not that's the same thing's going to happen with him, it's tough to say. However, that team is dangerous on paper, but that's a super team. And so that leads me to ask the question, where does it stop? And I can tell you, it doesn't stop in OCE, because Fever has left Renegades, parted ways with Renegades. We saw Express retire, meaning there was an open spot on Power, and a lot of people were theorizing that Amphis and Fever were going to try and team up. And here we are with Fever and Amphis and Torsos all on Power Rocket League. And Amphis and Fever are the best duo OCE Rocket League has ever seen. In terms of mechanical ability and offensive prowess and the ability to take over games, those two are the best to do it in OCE as a duo. And they haven't even played a game together yet. Super Lucky, Banana Head, and Scrub, no disrespect, but that is going to be a tough team for you guys to beat. But it doesn't stop there either, because teams are looking for cross-region transfers. This one's a bit more interesting because it is a Spanish player going to a North American team, but that North American team is originally from South America, so there's a bit of nuance here. But bear with me, as CRR is set to sign with Complex. So they're bringing over an EU talent that is a Spanish-speaking player to play alongside RazeBull and AJG. They're importing talent from other regions to compete at the top level in North America. Teams are willing to bring new talent in to try and improve themselves as quick as possible to make a super team. And whether this is a super team in NA or not with CRR, RazeBull, and AJG, that is yet to be seen. On paper, this team is going to be very, very good, and it's going to shake up the ecosystem for NA Rocket League, but you have teams like FaZe looking to sign Mist. You've got Space Station bringing in LJ to replace Reddles. You have question marks about where Reddles is going to play, where AJ is going to play, whether or not Energy can bounce back, how much version 1 is going to progress, G2 with Atomic, if that's going to continue to grow or if they've reached their peak already. There are so many question marks surrounding Rocket League coming out of the biggest season yet, and likely heading into the next biggest season because it just gets bigger. It's a power struggle. It's like Dragon Ball Z. There's a constant power struggle to keep getting better, and the way to keep getting better is to make super teams. Also, I feel like most of us saw this one coming, but the Mina twins are teaming up with Nupo for 2022-2023. This is easily the second best team in MENA behind Falcons and likely will take some tournaments off Falcons going forward. Rocket League is a super team esport, and that's just going to make it all the more entertaining because all these amazing talented players are going to get to play with other amazing talented players, and the skill ceiling and skill level and the gameplay is just going to continue to get better. Gear up for RLCS 2022-2023 because it is going to be an absolute blast. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the offseason. Peace.